Hey y'all, it's your girl Damica.
And it's Zenebou.
Welcome to
DamnBoo. When shit's so fucked up,
all you can really say is
DamnBoo.
Well, y'all, we're winding down with Black History Month, but
yes.
we still need to keep the celebration alive, the education alive, and making sure that we're educating ourselves through this.
Yeah, I'm like, happy Black History Month. I know we said it in the last one, but just because Black History Month is winding down, that don't mean we got to stop celebrating.
Honestly. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I feel like for a lot of the time, it's probably important to note that February being the shortest month and everything doesn't mean that we should stop like actively talking about issues that pertain to the Black community and everything. And also, like, in general, I feel like one of the conversations I was having with myself a little bit was, what does it mean to be an ally and everything? And I feel like in the general sense of things, y'all can't be performative. Y'all can't just slap on BLM in your bios and call it a day.
Because y'all tried it.
Y'all really do. Every day. But I feel like there's a line between words and actions, and I prefer actions over your words. That's all I'm saying. And sometimes sit down to listen. Just shut up and just wait. Yeah.
And we just got a lot of Black culture that surrounds us every day. Like, everything we talk about, everything from trends to music, it has a lot to do with Black culture. So it's important that we just talk about that. And, I mean, that's why we got the podcast rolling. We're about to talk more about it.
Exactly.
But, before we start off, we also want to say Happy Lunar Year.
Happy Lunar Year.
We kind of late in the game, but, we still want to...
Not bad.
Yeah, since the last podcast aired, it was kind of like in between that mix, but we just want to say Happy Lunar Year again.
Yep.
And we hope y'all celebrating y'all New Year's well. And last thing to mention, briefly.
Yeah.
So y'all probably know what's going down in Texas. So we just want to, say, like, we hope that everyone is just, reaching out and making sure to, like, be informed about, like, what's going on and just, like, how you can help people. And we just wanted to bring this up so people are aware and people are having a conversation.
Absolutely. And any way that you can reach out to resources, organizations that are helping out Texas. It's kind of sad that we have to reach out to mutual aid instead of, like, our government.
Yeah,
it's
really sad.
But,
like, Ted Cruz, why you had to book the flight? What, you could have just stayed at Texas
did you hear
and
his
helped.
Excuses?
I'm not going to even get into that. I don't even want to start with this man.
He threw his daughters under the bus. He was just like...
You grown, Ted Cruz. I don't even want to say nothing.
My thing wasn't he, like, the Zodiac killer, like, for a long time? Like, people really did thought he was the Zodiac killer. I don't think a man that stupid could be like a serial killer.
You want to catch a flight over there to Mexico? What happened?
Was it Mexico?
I think it was Mexico.
Was it? Okay. I don't know why I thought it was somewhere else.
It probably was somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. Wait, Cancun? No?
That is in Mexico.
Yeah, I think it is. Yes, it is. My bad.
Geography.
Don't do that.
Learn your history, folks. But we're not going to even get into that. We're not going to even get into that, okay? So we want to just, let y'all know that DamnBoo is available on several different platforms right now. So that means y'all can hear us anywhere, everywhere. When you walking your dog, when you taking a shower, when you eating your breakfast, when you taking your kids out to school. Come on, tune in. We're on Spotify. We're on podcasts. We're on Anchor. We're also on Breaker, and we're also on Radio Public. So make sure y'all tune in. And also check out our socials. We got IG, Twitter, Facebook. Our IG is at DamnBoo Podcast _ and DamnBoo for everything else. So make sure you tune in because we need to see what y'all are saying. We want y'all involved.
We also have a LinkedIn.
Ooh. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Don't do that.
Get your network up, folks.
I just want more connections.
Okay, so, we're going to start off like we promised last episode that, we just kind of we're gonna do a little mini story time about how we got to DamnBoo. Like,
well, honestly, at least my earliest collection of when we like decided that we even wanted like something like broadcasting or something like a podcast and everything was when I think every time we used to be like in our dorms and everything, late night working on homework and shit, just chatting and everything.
Chatting, doing nothing but chatting, no homework.
No homework.
That's a lie. I'm just lying.
I'm not. So I feel like, yeah, we started those conversations there where we were just like sitting down and kind of just like venting about, you know, the different bullshit that happened like from day to day, being in a, you know, predominantly white institution, but also to like just having conversations about, you know, pop culture and like, you know, what we saw on Twitter and you know, all that stuff. So
literally the conversation is always something happening. So we was just like, oh, we got to start up, like, it would be really cool to start up something, you know, and just like spread the conversation out, you know, just like not only with our friends, but like to speak to other people and see like what other people got to say. But I think it all started actually was in Cheryl's class.
Oh yeah, Cheryl's class too.
It wasn't called DamnBoo. We did our own little segment. And it was
Piping
more
and sipping,
piping and sipping. R.I.P. Piping and sipping.
You know, she's still alive sometimes.
No, she's not.
My thing was
but she was cute. She was the one that sparked this up. And you know, honestly, our professor Cheryl, she was like, you guys should do this like on YouTube. Like I thought like what you were talking about were really good. Like, and we was just like, okay, you saw the vision before we did, but okay. What's
crazy is because like when we got like the assignment and everything, like I immediately look over to Zen.
Yeah, we like, I don't do group projects. Like I try everything
by myself.
I try every other way. I'll be like, if there's the option between individual and group projects, you know, I'm already taking my individual side. Like I'm not joining. I'm sorry.
I lived with you, so I could actually, like, you know.
Yeah, at that time we was living with each other, and me and Damica had a number of classes so far, but that's besides the point. That's not even into this. But we just knew each other, and it was just like, oh, we started having that conversation, like you said, in the dorm, and we were like, are we going to actually start up something? And then we was talking to Sky and Alexis, like, yo, y'all, would y'all want to join? Would y'all want to be part of the team? Like, what's going on? No, I'm just kidding.
My thing is, I feel like what it boiled down to is, like, our conversations got so good. It was like, yeah, we could turn it into a podcast.
Yeah, we were like, oh. Yeah, so we were like, oh, let's just, like, start this up. We were like, okay, now we here at podcast episode number 2. We didn't think we was gonna make it this far.
Absolutely not. But we did it.
We did it.
That's
we still here.
But without further ado, for our voice out shout outs,
be gonna quickly segments. Just like, you know, give a few shout outs here and there. Yeah, so the first one we saw an Emerson student, actually, Erin, she followed us on Instagram, and we saw that you had a jewelry business going on.
Necklaces by Erin.
What's poppin'? You know what? Come on. We just wanted to shout you out. It's looking real good. So, you know, it would be real cute. Like, let us know also too if you guys want to have a shout out. Different things that you're working on, projects, like, we all for it. But we saw that her business was looking real cute, and I was excited. Cute. And I don't even wear jewelry like that, but
they're healing properties too. Let's little side note about crystals or whatever. Little something. It has a lot of healing properties, aligns with your chakras and everything. So all that good stuff. Make sure you cop one. Make sure you do it. And also, she like hand makes them. She orders them. She does it from her house. Like, she's a businesswoman. Businesswoman.
Black-owned business.
Exactly.
Okay, now we're gonna really go quickly into other creators. And just like events that's happening on campus. Ebony is having their fashion show that's coming up, I believe, next week. You know, you can sign up on MConnect. We will make sure to have all the links below, everywhere on our socials. And it would just be really nice if you guys could support. I did the fashion show in the past 2 years, so it was fun, all right? And y'all got to see some looks. And just quickly, who else do you want to shout out?
So we also have Erica Hart, and she's a sex educator, a social justice facilitator and disruptor, a writer. She's been posting a lot of wealthy information about Black History Month, so definitely go check that out on her IG. It'll be plugged in below for our social accounts.
Yeah. Okay, and we're going to head on to the Shambles Diaries. What community is in shambles this week?
A lot of them.
Let me clear my throat for this one.
She got that one.
But we going to talk about Miss Sia Girl. I ain't watched the movie. I don't think I'm not gonna watch the movie.
I missed it when I didn't know like what she actually looked like. Cause now, like, I feel like it's all out. It's all out, and
she could hide with them bangs, but we still know who you are.
We still see the ugly. We still see the ugly inside.
On.
It's just okay. What really is disrespectful about this is like producing this whole entire movie in a community you have no experience
no
in,
business
in. You didn't
no education.
You didn't ask no disability activists. You didn't ask anybody who actually has Down syndrome, autism, anything.
Some may argue too that she did, and she did get professionals or whatever, but that's besides the point. You ain't tackled the real issue here.
Yeah, but I feel like even if you reach out to them, it's like you didn't productively listen to the community. Like those people like don't speak for the whole community.
And just saying, like, we also can't speak for those in this community. She definitely, that movie screams ignorance. She just like turned her back on the whole like community of every different like, and there's ranges and different spectrums of how like different conditions are, different diagnoses, different diseases. Like, that doesn't put everybody in this one category. And to stereotype that in your movie and for you to stick and stand by it, girl.
Like, whenever I was watching clips of it, I find it really hard to believe that, like, professionals were backing up on this because it literally felt like a mockery. Like, it really did feel like, and I felt bad because, like, even though Maddie Ziegler is grown, so she can make her own decisions, but I think in the end of the day, like, it feels really weird to like, I feel like she initially wasn't down with the movie because she knew it was going to get backlash, but then Sia convincing her, and the relationship between them with her being in her multiple music videos, it's like, damn, like, you got wrapped up in this project, like your creativity got wrapped up in this project.
Yeah. But it's kind of more than that. Like, it doesn't matter of like the relationship that you have, you gotta at least know like the difference between right and wrong. Like, it doesn't matter who you're working with. If you work with them for a certain like number of years, girl, if she offered me this role today, I'm like, hell no.
It's crazy because I feel like within the framework of things, it like clout really does like, it is a disease. Like,
and the thing is,
you don't really think about it.
Yeah, and it's like Maddie is also sticking by it, and that just shows like, okay, so you're not even considering, like, it was kind of like a backhanded kind of like thing, and you just didn't address it at all, and it shows how very ignorant you became. And agreed. I think we feel that a lot, just being POC in this like POC category group, like for people just to make movies or TV shows or videos, just mocking stereotypes. And we've seen a lot of it, but it's like, did you actually go into that community? Did you ask people about it? Do you actually know what that means? Like, whatever it is that you put in that movie.
Exactly, and I feel like I'm kind of tired of like the assumption that just because like, you got backing, just because you got like some certain voices to help you with this project, you didn't listen to the community. Like, the community before this movie was ever produced was saying, bitch, no. Like,
don't do it.
What are you thinking of? Like, this is extremely harmful. Like, to portray autism in this way is, first off, it's coming from an able-bodied perspective that you don't have a footing in. So it's like, do you know your place, or are you just trying to serve? Yeah.
And for you to actually continue and make a whole movie on this, it don't take you 2 minutes to make a movie, okay? I mean, it can if you're making a mini short film. But that's not what I'm talking about, okay? she definitely didn't, like, throughout her whole time of working with that movie, because supposedly it was filmed years prior.
Yeah.
Throughout those number of years, you didn't think one time of, oh, should I actually put this out? Should I actually stop it? Should I, like, what is it? If I want to put a movie out like this, what is it that I need to consider? Who is it that I need to reach out to? So that was just, that was very disrespectful within itself. I will not be tuning in to the movie.
Well, I know that's right. I think I only watch a couple of videos. But to move on to other forms of media that we're seeing predominantly on Netflix and everything.
Ooh, we love a good Netflix.
So I'm not usually like crime documentary.
I am. This is my segment. This is all I watch. This is me. I watch Investigation Discovery like it's my life.
Literally, I don't know. I didn't get into it like until like literally a couple of weeks ago. But I just want to talk about, first off, I'm here. But I just want to talk about the Cecil Hotel documentary with Elisa Lam. I don't want to get into like the crime itself because like personally I have a lot of thoughts about like what may have happened and what could transpire, but in the end of the day I really do feel like it was the hotel's negligence that really, like, in operating this baddie shit out of the whack hotel, that really led to her unfortunate death. But one of the things I had noticed throughout the documentary is y'all suddenly want to be detectives. And I say this because
everybody want to be searching.
Literally, because like, okay, look, I get the pros of y'all like wanting to collect tips, y'all wanting to give out information and everything, but y'all took it way too fucking far in a lot of points throughout. Like this, it no longer turned into like a person who was found dead.
Yeah, because now missing. All of a sudden it turned to y'all 9 to 5.
Turn into your 9 to 5 and to sensationalizing her death, romanticizing it, and like treating it like, oh my god, like what happened? Like this was like something you want to put in your thumbnail for your YouTube video. Like y'all were literally going to that hotel, acting like little detectives,
talking about, oh my god, Halloween tutorial. We're gonna do a little something.
Y'all were giggling in the elevator where she died. Like it just like what I didn't appreciate, especially specifically, spoiler, I guess, but. Basically what happened was one of the internet detectives was asking for this guy to go into her grave and touch her grave for her or for him. And it's like, do you not recognize that like that's an actual person, like her family like memorializing her for that, and you want to go in there talking about like, oh, I see her as a friend, like that I felt like I lost a friend. Bitch, you didn't know her. You like I'm sorry, like I get it, y'all can feel sadness and grief over this, but y'all can't just do some out of the bat shit like this to disrespect, like it's disrespectful to her and her family.
Yeah, and it's this, like you mentioned it to me the other day, and so I like watched part of the documentary, but what I got out of it was there's a lot of cases within different communities that's not a part of the white community that is not taken seriously. Because you know, she was an Asian woman, but I kind of like, it made me think about so many of the other crime documentaries that I watch, but this took me back to the Gabriel trial of like I don't know if y'all seen that documentary on Netflix.
Oh, Gabriel Fernandez.
Yeah. And, you know, his birthday just passed a few days ago. He would have been 16. Yeah. So that's really sad. But if you compare that to other documentaries like the Madeleine McCann story, she was like a white British girl or something. It went crazy. Like, I'm telling you, they had searchers, helicopters.
Yeah, the resources pulled in suddenly out of nowhere.
Wow. But when it came to, a kid of the Latin community, it was like, where was it? It wasn't until the very end that
it was too late.
And I was like, I would not want this if this same situation happened to me or anybody within, my family or, within a certain group, because it's already sad in how we see unjustified, like, communities, like, and different communities, especially in the Black community as well, how, like, these cases are not taken seriously. People, it's kind of, like, overlooked, and people treat them like it's nothing. And I'm like, these are everyday humans. If you here to do the job, why can't you do it and serve the same justice for everybody else?
Honestly, I think it's also a matter of, like, I feel like victim blaming really, like, is tailored towards BIPOC communities. Like, y'all literally don't do that same thing to white communities, or, like, even in the sense of, like, the wider spectrum, like, non-Black communities and everything. Like, y'all will treat Black communities with so much victim blaming, with so much gaslighting and everything before it's, like, too late, before, like, the harm is already done. And it's like, you know.
But we gonna go into FK Twigs, and just that whole situation with Shia LaBeouf. We're not gonna, like, go into details about everything, but you want to start off, because I know you really had some, you know, points about that.
Yeah, I mean, reading it, like, she basically posted an article in Elle and everything, detailing her experience and her abuse from Shia LaBeouf. And this man, like, this is not his first time. Like, he's had a history of abuse with other partners in the past. And people want to write it off as, like, he's, like, this eccentric, like, method actor and everything. Like, he has, like, this enriching talent. So, like, nobody was, like, ever checking for that. And FKA Twigs, she brought up a lot of different points about toxic relationships and how you really don't, like, recognize the abuse until, like, it gets, like, super bad, but you start, like, rationalizing, like, certain behaviors, like, oh, that wasn't as bad as this one. And, like, he would act really, really sweet some days. So it's, like, you know, justifying that, you know, constantly having that battle. But what I wanted to bring up in this point was, I need y'all to start believing, like, victims right off the bat. Like, I'd rather
survivors as well.
Yeah, survivors as well. Like, I'd rather be in the right about being on the survivors and the victim side, rather than ever trying to play devil's advocate. Which, by the way, you just the devil. Like, but like, I don't understand, like, why you want to protect an abuser.
Yeah, and it just, like, people have said this time and time again. Y'all discourage other people from coming out and sharing what it is. Like, for her to put that on Elle, right? That's just, honestly, I commend her for that, because that's a lot within itself. Not only does she already have the public eye on her, but you gotta, like, she's, like, taking this into account of how other victims and survivors in the community, you know, might find the strength of, like, finally, you know, coming out or forward with it. But it's this constant, like, backlash that women get, especially women of color, that makes them not want to speak at all, and makes them already have this, like, notion that, oh, no one's going to believe me, so there's no reason to go forward as well. And I can't speak on everyone within that community or that group, because I haven't gone through it, but I do know people that have gone through it, and I think it's just really important that we talk about it. But also, I mean, it's just a lot. Like, just, you got to think about it. It tears you down from, like, your mental health to, you know, how you interact with people, how you interact in future conversations with other people. And I feel like, y'all, you just, like, especially us sitting here as two women, right? Like, just imagine if we had, like, I have younger sisters myself. And if this, like, was the case, I wouldn't want to feel like they were, you know, in the wrong or discouraged from ever coming to me. But, yeah. So I definitely am just like, this is sad. But, y'all, honestly, y'all got to start. But
yeah, honestly, I wish nothing but healing and the best for FKA Twigs and everything. And for the greater scheme of things and everything, I just hope, like, y'all don't turn this into, like, a media circus and everything, and try to flip this into something that is ignoring, like, the present problem of y'all enabling, for specifically, like, white actors, white directors, white producers in Hollywood.
Like
y'all constantly enable
look
them
at
so
Alexis
much.
over there shaking in the back.
Because it's true. Because it's true. Like, how many directors have been called out for like shit like pedophilia and shit, and y'all have not done nothing about that. Like, but
yeah, it's like what? So you gonna go sit down and watch the movie and just ignore everything? Okay, I see you.
Like, is it really that good of a movie?
Let
9
us
times out of
know.
10, it isn't. So for our next segment, Vent Pals.
We got a lot to vent about.
We got lots to vent about. This topic is a little bit, I feel like it fell off the trend, but it's still like prevalent.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
Well, you know, even if it's not there, it still bothers me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go on.
Fufu. Don't we love some fufu? But some of y'all be playing out there, okay? Because it's an African dish. It's basically like a dough-like, it's dough. You put it in, you know, like with stew and all that stuff. But it got like this sour taste or whatever.
Does it have like a potato? Like, I've heard people say like
they got different versions. They got the original. They got the plantain.
They got the original.
I'm gonna let y'all know. In the beginning, I wasn't a big fan.
You wasn't. That's crazy.
In fact, I didn't like it at all. But put a plate in front of me now, boy, I'll eat that up.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But that's not the case. So I seen on TikTok, it's been going around. I'm like, so all of a sudden, like, y'all wanna, I don't know what it is. Like, what, y'all trying to be out there, very exotic? And y'all trying fufu as a trend. That's very disrespectful, first of all. That y'all putting yourself on camera and disrespecting other people's cultures. And just saying, oh, it tastes bad. Nobody told you to go buy it, sweetheart, okay? Nobody told you to film yourself on camera and just dish other people's dishes. Like, what are y'all thinking about? Like,
and you know what? It's always the bitches that order chicken tenders at the restaurant. It's always them. It's always them.
Now we love us some chicken tenders.
My thing is,
okay? Probably it's the ones that order salads.
Here we go.
But I'm just like, this is really disrespectful. And there's a lot of things that go on TikTok, just disrespecting culture in general. Like, y'all take away so many trends, there's so many bops that's popping up on TikTok now, and y'all all of a sudden want to claim it. And there's been like previous like things going on with TikTok with people, you know, taking choreography from Black artists or different, you know, the original creators, and just come like, presenting it as their own. And then now apparently y'all got time to go up to hit the African markets and go find some fufu and just make absolute disrespect of it. And I feel like no matter first of all, these people are letting you in their culture, allowing you to share what it is that they have in their community, allowing you to have a little sample. You're not going to get everything.
A lot of these are like small Black-owned businesses too, and y'all like are ignoring the fact that this is a part of a culture. They're mom and pop businesses, and y'all over here. Like, first off, I feel like y'all are dramatic in your like reactions. Like, if y'all don't like it, keep it to yourself. Like, literally. Like, if you don't like it, just keep it to yourself. Like,
literally. I'm not gonna sit at your mama house and be like, oh, yeah, and record myself on TikTok talking about, this ain't it.
Yeah, this pot roaster doesn't hit.
That, honestly, I would never do that. Like, you gotta understand that these people are making a living out of this. And also, there's just this big influence on social media. You post something out there and people are gonna, you know, like have that instant, like, you know, connection of like, oh, okay, probably it isn't as good as it seems, or there's something, and you just put in so many like negativity towards someone else's own culture. Nobody forced you to, you know, be a part of it or to taste a certain dish. You are going out of your way. So why would you go out of your way to disrespect somebody else?
I think what it reminds me of is definitely like whenever I was like a kid, and you know, like bringing lunch to school was like the biggest like nervous breakdown of my life, because literally, I mean, first off, like with English not being my first language, I didn't understand like how like I just saw disgusted faces. I didn't really see like
or what's
anything
that
else besides
smell?
that. What's that smell and everything. And I remember
The food that you not eating, so mind your business.
Literally, I would open my lunch and just be like, eat it happily, and everybody would be like, "What's that smell?" I'd be like, "I don't know. What you talking about?"
And it made you so self-conscious.
Yeah.
It made you not want to come to school with anything. It made you literally feel less about like the community and upbringing that you grew up, the culture and the tradition, and you're just like, what's going on? What's going on? Like I definitely have those times when I went to school. I was excited. I'm like, oh, y'all getting that school lunch, but I'm eating what my mom cooked me.
Literally, I remember my mama. She made like basically it's a dish in Philippines where it's like oxtail with like it sounds really off, but it has like a peanut butter like nutty taste to it and everything, but it's slathered on as like curry type of thing, so it has like it's a very interesting flavor. But that used to be my shit back in the day. Like mix that shit with rice, it was over. And I remember I remember like the teacher like literally like looking, and like suddenly like the kids were like all like oogling and goggling over like my food and everything. And like the teacher, like luckily she stepped in. She was just like, "Baby, come and eat with me." And I was like, "Okay."
That's so nice.
But literally, like it was like one day and she left. But she was a substitute.
But she was still nice.
She was still nice. So like I feel like having those reaffirming moments is important, and also too like, y'all gotta learn how to step out of your bubble. Like,
for
real.
Real.
Even if you don't like it, at least you like said you tried it.
Yeah. That's true. Cause I'm like, and also y'all don't know how bad it hurts other people's feelings. And this is what other people grew up with. Like, I know I used to be like so insecure when I used to pack them lunches to school. I would over there double bag them.
Lunchables was like the safe bet. Yeah.
Triple bag them. I was like, oh, they not about to know what it is. And you like over there guarding your food with your hands, really? Like, and you just like watching people's eyes. And I'm like, can I eat in peace?
I just did that like literally like last year, like around like I think during our first semester and everything classes, I packed some kimchi and everything because I was like, I was trying to bring some like food to like for school and everything. I remember being in class and everything and someone being like, "What's that smell?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I was like, fuck. And it took me right back to being in like second grade. And it's like, it's those moments where you like automatically it's just like, oh, this is like a home thing. You know what I'm saying? Versus like I can't even embrace myself across all spaces.
Literally. Like it feels like you can't even share.
I can't eat in peace.
You can't eat in peace. You can't embrace your culture. But
nothing.
We just gonna like push this further on into, another little topic.
Connected.
Yeah.
Very connected.
So we know y'all love the culture, but y'all don't love the people. How is that so? Tell me, how is that so? Y'all want to be part of the trends. Y'all want to taste all the food. Y'all want to hear all the music, but y'all don't want to be a part of it. Y'all don't want to be, like, what's going on? My hair over here spinning because y'all just playing with me right now.
It's definitely conditional, too. It's like y'all want everything. Y'all want your cake and eat it, too. Like, y'all don't want to actually, like, first off, y'all shouldn't be stealing from other cultures. Y'all shouldn't be appropriating. I'm sorry. Like, first off, okay, one of the things I remember about this conversation was there was a TikToker, and she's Asian. She's from New York and everything, and she consistently kept using a black scent and AAVE. And people were saying, oh, no, like, she's from the hood. She's from, like, projects and all that stuff. Like, she can use that and everything. And I remember thinking, like, it's just, like, why is that the only excuse? Because other people of color have grown up in different places and they don't adopt that same accent. Like black people have grown up in different places, don't adopt any type of accent or anything. And it's another thing too is like y'all are saying that like to have like to speak in that like speaking in black accent, speaking in AAVE, using those is inherently connected to the projects, is inherently connected to like the ghetto or the hood or whatever, and it's supposed to be like you're attaching black culture to poverty, and I feel like that in itself is anti-black.
But then y'all also want to use it for y'all the benefits of y'all when it becomes a very trendy look, or, all of a sudden y'all want to be woke and part of the conversation. And so y'all use it to that degree. And it's like, oh, okay, we still see that you hiding behind this mask. Like, everything, that's just very performative in itself. Like, yeah, especially, I know, like, I feel like with the Asian community, I can't also speak on that behalf, but just, like, there's so many things, from sushi to Thai food to Vietnamese. Y'all want to try it all. Y'all want to see it all. Y'all want to be there out in Koreatown taking pictures.
Yeah,
and
listen to K-pop, everything in between.
And then want to be out here disrespecting people.
Y'all,
I was like, what's going on?
Y'all dead, like, I feel like whenever y'all get into, like, a trend, or, like, treat the culture as a trend and everything, instead of, like, the weight of a culture, like, the weight of stories, the weight of history and everything, y'all take it to a point where it's like, I'm gonna just use this for my social media and keep it pushing, or I'm just gonna use this just because I find it convenient. It's a privilege to find shit convenient.
Yes,
like, it's a privilege to find shit where you don't have to completely immerse yourself in a culture because you're not a part of it. And it's a bigger audacity to speak over people in the culture. My bad.
Yeah, I do
but
it a lot.
It's like, like,
this is the only time she's raising her voice for this podcast, so
I just
y'all better get on it.
I have a very soft-spoken voice.
Yeah,
Let me stop. I can't. But yeah, I mean, it's genuinely, I think, especially with, like, celebrities and influencers, the first people that come to mind is, like, Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians in general. Like, them bitches always
number one prime example.
They know
they should be suspects.
Literally. It's one of those things where I'm just like, y'all blatantly know that y'all doing this,
Yes. Especially, I'm, like, thinking, like, in the back of my head, I remember when dashikis was coming out. Everybody want to wear dashiki. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, like, I got me a little African in me, right? But when you saw African people down the street, or, like, growing up, like, they was just like, I don't know if y'all remember, but they was over there, like, just disrespect, the blatant disrespect. People out here talking about African booty scratcher. I said, oh no. But y'all want to have the same energy when I bring my Zama to school, and y'all looking, oh, what's that? No, mind your business, okay?
Literally, I think it's literally examples of colonizers, like, all of y'all.
Y'all
like,
y'all want to have what y'all don't have.
Literally, I'm sorry, like, that we have culture.
Sorry, we got a little taste flavor.
Like, exactly. Like, it's just like one of those things that I feel like in the end of the day, y'all want to use cultures and people within those cultures as commodities. Y'all don't see them as actual people.
For sure. And that just brings us on to, like, how this affects, like, how we was talking about, like, bringing our school lunches, like, how that makes you feel. This has it takes a lot on your mental health.
It does.
Like, y'all don't understand how much of a toll it takes on, like, people. This is why
isolation, alienation, all that stuff.
And people feel like they don't belong, but also just like when you hear reasons of, like, why children don't want to go to school, or why they don't want to speak to people, but this also has, like, it when you grow up, you think about it too, just people using your culture but not accepting you makes you feel less part of a society, of a community, that it's like we're all here. It's like I walk outside, but I feel like I don't belong, right? It's like I'm just living here in this moment, but at the end of the day, I know either people were saying something very disrespectful to my face, it may be slurs, anything, but they don't know, like, when I come home, like, how I feel, like, and what that does to people, how that breaks people down, and this leads to a lot of mental health, and just through the history of America within itself. It takes a really big toll on your mental health.
It does, and I feel like it's a double-edged sword too, because like, whenever we have, like, all this emotional baggage and all of this, like, trauma carrying with us in our bodies and our minds and our emotions and everything, like, we can't fully unpack them in, like, our houses and our communities and our cultures. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like mental health, and especially in, like, BIPOC communities, is still a work in progress. Like, y'all are, we are still trying to normalize that conversation, because I feel like with mental health, especially like right now, I feel like personally for me, like during the like quarantine and pandemic and everything, it's like,
it's very important that you check in on your mental health.
Yeah, and just create more spaces, more conversations, normalize it, like ask people how, like beyond asking how people are doing, like actually make it more productive, make it more normalized. And in the end of the day, I kind of feel like our generation might be more like, whenever we have more generations, might be more like attentive to emotions and stuff. But mentally, I feel like right now it's still laborious. It's still a struggle.
For sure, especially like you mentioned, like during this pandemic, it's a lot that takes on of just like having to understand like why we're going through this, what's making us feel this way. There's too many topics, but you know, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Ooh, so. You know, I've been doing a lot of meditation lately. That's been helpful.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah.
Wish I had the time. I mean, I probably do.
You know, 5 minutes, just like. Anyways, we're gonna go into mention and intention.
Yes, mention and attention. That's how you know we about to wrap everything up.
Put a little bow on it. Boop, a little something.
LOL. Okay, you know, we hoping y'all have some thoughts and like just commentary, like just let us know what you think. But also we hope y'all can help us out with mention and intention, provide different resources that people can use, and just share that with everybody you know. Let us know like what tips and tricks y'all been doing, and also that could like help us out too. I mean, I'm down to try anything.
Exactly. And you know, having this like wealth of knowledge too, I feel like in the topics that we were talking about today, they were a little bit heavy, but also we also had a little bit of productivity to it. You know, we had a lot of depth into it.
It's a juicy conversation.
It's a juicy conversation.
Exactly. Know. But we just gonna talk about how we was talking about with you know, different cultures and trends, like how to actually know that you're respectfully going into these spaces and making sure that you're not like invading it. Like you have to be very like, come on, if people are gonna share their experiences, if they're gonna let y'all into the functions, if they gonna, you know, just share everything about their culture with you, then you should have like no reason to, you know, go turn around and just turn it into something as, like you mentioned, like a commodity, or turn it into a trend, because at the end of the day, you make people not want to be able to do those things, not make you want to feel like they are comfortable in bringing you in these spaces.
And safe.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying.
Yeah, we were just kind of just talking about like how to make sure to respectfully enter people's spaces and learn how to actually understand the culture, understand the people, understand everything behind it, because it's important enough that they even allowing you into their space. It takes a lot. There's a lot of trust that has gone out the window because just this whole craziness with American history, and sometimes I like, you know, you don't trust everybody easily. Like I don't just be like, oh yeah, that's my bestie all of a sudden. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna share everything about my life like with that person. So I think you have to understand like, oh, how important it is for these people to even be able to share these experiences with you and be open about it as well. But yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about that.
I love it. For me, my intention is to, first off, I want to say that for a lot of survivors and victims of trauma, whatever it may be, I want nothing more than just healing and justice in whatever form that looks like for you. And that's sort of like my spiel, you know, coming from that. However, speaking to the larger culture around victim blaming, specifically towards BIPOC communities and everything, I feel like y'all really have like a lack of self-awareness when it comes to the conversations around consent, around what it means to have agency, boundaries, and expectations within any type of relationship, platonic or romantic, that isn't that doesn't mean that you possess a person. That doesn't mean you have entitlement over somebody. And I feel like one of the things that I truly don't understand is, why do we rush to enable an abuser before we ever believe a survivor or a victim? I personally, like, I don't care if, like, for some reason or another, a story was misconstrued, or maybe it wasn't like fully to the truth or anything. Like, first off, that's a very that's a teensy tiny percentage of people who actually like don't actually tell the truth about their experiences. However, even if that is the case, even if that is, if I'm gonna play into y'all's imaginations, even if that is the case, I'd rather be on the victim side. I'd rather be on the survivor side. I'd rather be able to say that I'm not going to back somebody who has a history of abuse, who has a history of violence and trauma inflicted upon others and everything. I feel like what comes to mind in this is y'all constantly vilify so many people of color, especially women of color. Yeah. And I feel like there's a constant hatred. There's layers to it. There's misogyny. There's racism. There's anti-blackness. There's a lot. There's just so much within that I think, in the end of the day, y'all refuse to unpack. Y'all refuse to let go of the reins of patriarchy and the reins of white supremacy to really boil down to believing people who are affected. I'd rather do that.
And we are the people that are affected, not probably in this particular situation, but we are in this group of people that are affected. So I feel like it's only right if we are able to share like what our like experiences are like, and to just be able to like help other people like understand like what it is that we're coming from, but many other people are coming from as well. And that's why we want y'all to keep like, you know, having these conversations, and to like even just to listen about it, because y'all already know we love talking. But
literally, I feel like in the end of the day, like with cases like FKA Twigs and everything, like I don't know, I feel like there's such a like culture around disbelief and misogyny that I just don't feel like y'all are actually getting. Like, y'all don't understand the bravery it takes to release a story, your story about trauma, and coming out forth to the public without above all means. So I just don't understand, like, where does the downplay come from? Where does y'all's gaslighting, victim blaming and everything come from in that sense?
And it's like, if we were in the same position as well, we would want somebody to listen to us. There's so many different, you know, situations and times in which we just wanted somebody to actually just listen, and not criticize us. And there's a sense of being in this space of like judgment, but also this fear of not, you know, saying it is what it is, because there's already this system that's going on of, you know, people that are non-believers or are not even willing to hear what it is that you have to say, especially on topics like, you know, sexual assault or just anything within that range. But it's also very important, and kind of just like a little like sidetrack, we did mention about Elisa from the hotel. We also wanted to mention like how Sky brought up that there's similar situations in which we remember like just even like believing like what just victims are going through, but also understanding these people. And there was a Kanika Jenkins, if I'm saying her name right, And there was that story about how
That's
she had that
initially,
time.
like, when I watched the documentary, I thought it was going to be about.
Yeah. So it was just, like, important that we brought that up for a minute, but also not to sidetrack from this conversation as well. I think is very important. How we look at victims and how we understand victims is definitely a very important conversation.
Right, because I feel like when we consider the gravity of all stories, of all survivors, like, we're considering resources to reduce the harm done to those survivors.
Yeah.
So in reducing harm, one of the things we want to bring up is resources for your mental health throughout this time, this pandemic.
It's a lot. That's why we had to breathe.
I know.
You felt that in your chest? I felt it in mine.
You know, I didn't meditate today, and I felt like I felt out of whack a little bit. You know, mentally, I feel like there's so many things, like, trauma-wise that go into your body and everything that we don't really realize and check because we're so stressed, because we're trying to get a deadline, school,
always
work,
thinking about
whatever.
something else. Like, there's a lot going on, and we just want to make sure that y'all checking in with y'all mental health. And also make sure y'all check in with others as well. That's just as important as you check in with not only your friends, your family, but other people that you may probably come across. But also make sure you check in for yourself, because if you don't got your back, right, how are you supposed to go out and try to help other people? You don't want you don't want to have to carry everybody else's problems and feel like you're the one that's pushing through everything and or trying to make everything feel better for everybody. So I'll definitely make sure to check in. The one thing that I always keep in my head is to make sure that you breathe. Because I feel like there's so many instances you could be sitting at your laptop and you just forget to breathe. You just forget to breathe. I know you said meditating was your thing. And yeah, I mean, there's so many resources you can reach out to. And we just wanted to make sure that we offer some of that.
Yeah. Pour into yourself before you pour into others.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, y'all, we're wrapping up. This is
wrapping it up.
episode 2. And put it to end.
We can't believe we made it. No, I'm just kidding.
2 episodes.
2 episodes. Who knows how long we'll be here? I'm okay.
I'm confident.
But we just want to say thank you. We can't end the episode without our thank yous to our Waveform team, but especially our DamnBoo Podcast team.
Thank
you. Oh, we also have to mention we have a new member within our team, Miss Kim.
Miss Kim. Ooh, she's a visionary.
She's doing our sound because you know I'm a little loud on the mic, so she had to fix that up. But we added Kim to our team, but we also want to say thank you to Skyla, and we also want to say thank you to Alexis,
Skyla, Kim. We have an amazing team. We pull all strings ahead.
Without them, we couldn't do it.
Literally. So
many tears. But also thank y'all for listening, for watching, for listening, to streaming, to everything, checking out our social media platforms. Like, so make sure y'all tune in. You know, DamnBoo is available now on Spotify,
Anchor,
Breaker,
YouTube.
I forgot about YouTube for a second. YouTube Podcast, and Apple Music. And Google Podcasts.
Thank you, Sky.
Yes. We is like, huh?
And Breaker.
I think we did mention Breaker.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, you can tell me a little bit. so many platforms, I can't even remember all. But also remember to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn at DamnBoo. And we also have our IG, DamnBoo Podcast _. So make sure you check all of that out. That's how we're going to have our updates. Make sure you tune into the conversation because we're going to be chatting it up. And
chat.
And with that, we're going to say, DamnBoo.